Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. It's been a minute since I've done an article video over here on my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we have the most overrated player on every NBA roster. This is an article by Mari Famina, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each and every single one of these players listed and give you guys my opinion if I think this person is right or wrong about if this certain player is overrated. Guys, I do want to let you know that I am posting basketball content over on my second channel, Extra Crispy. Have a lot of fun videos going up there every single day. If you guys don't mind dropping a subscription over there, link to that channel in the description below. It is Extra Crispy, guys. All right, here we go, man. Let's get going on this article. So the first player we have listed is Trey Young of the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know, man, because I still feel like the Hawks got pretty good value. Like, of course, Luka Doncic is the better player, but I mean, they got Trey Young and they also got that first round pick from the Dallas Mavericks. So it's all going to depend on what that pick ends up being. But as far as Trey Young as a player, I think we all kind of knew what he was going to be. And that was a guy that was going to, get his shots up out there, be a pretty decent playmaker, but at the same time, turn the ball over at a pretty high rate. He's a rookie, man, so I think he definitely has time to learn the ropes. And I do see him as at least, like worst case scenario, as like a 6th or 7th man point guard off, a championship contending team's bench. I mean, yeah, maybe he'll start for most of his career and won't lead to winning. But I mean, I do like Trey Young. I don't think he's as bad as some people like to make him out to be. He's okay. He's okay right now. He's just a rookie. He's doing a lot better than I thought he was going to do in his rookie season. Next up, we have Jalen Brown of the Boston Celtics. Okay, this one I definitely disagree with. I think Jalen Brown is just kind of a victim of too much talent on one team, where it's like, of course you want to get the ball running it through Kyrie Irving and, Jason Tatum, and of course they're paying Gordon Hayward out there, so they want to get him some shots up too. So it's like, I feel like the best case scenario for Jalen Brown is to be traded to a different team. A team where he can be like that second or third option out there. I would love to see him on like the Pelicans to play with Anthony Davis, personally speaking. But I don't think he's overrated. I just think he's underutilized, and I just don't always think he's the greatest fit in this specific offense. Next up, we have Spencer Dinwiddie of the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, so this one I totally disagree with. The Brooklyn Nets actually just extended Spencer Dinwiddie's contract, and it was a nice contract, guys. I think it was maybe $10 million a season, if that. Something around there. I don't have the exact number, but I mean, that's a really solid contract for what Spencer Dinwiddie brings. There is times where he can struggle, offensively. He's always a pretty solid playmaker. I will say, though, the biggest issue with maybe him in general is that he doesn't exactly fit in the backcourt all that much with D'Lo. So it's like, if they've given this man the contract, does that mean they're probably going to let D'Lo walk away or maybe trade him for, some picks or something like that? So, no, man, based off his contract, Spencer Dinwiddie definitely is a pretty impactful player. Charlotte Hornets, Nicolas Batum. Okay, that's one I do agree with. He's making, it says right there, man, $25 million over the next 3 seasons. That is ridiculous. I remember when he was on the Portland Trailblazers, he had a few pretty decent seasons. Always a pretty good catch and shoot player and somebody that can actually, be the guy off the dribble. But I mean, he hasn't really been that player for the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, he can have his games at times, but for the most part, man, it's just this guy was definitely overpaid. He was right around that season where the cap space went up tremendously. So therefore, teams were overspending, and kind of like what they did with Timothy Mozgov and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely is overpaid for what he brings to an NBA team. This one I totally agree with. Okay, next up we have Zach LaVine of Chicago Bulls. I know Chicago Bull fans will definitely fight me on this one. Do I think he's a bad player? No, I do not. Do I feel like maybe there's a little bit of it is that he is putting up stats on a bad team? Yeah, I definitely see a bit of that. I would say that Zach LaVine's worst enemy when it comes to efficiency is himself. If Zach LaVine plays within himself and just takes smart shots, and because he can do everything out there, he can drive to the basket, he can shoot the basketball. It's just sometimes he takes unwarranted, not the greatest shots out there. So if he works on shot selection, he definitely could be a fantastic player. And yes, he is putting up numbers, and yes, he definitely will be up there for most improved player of the year. It's just you don't want it to be like that Kevin Love effect, where it's just he puts up great numbers on a bad team. You want your star players to lead to W's out there. So I think he'll definitely figure things out as the years go along, and it's going to come down to, of course, some other pieces being on the Chicago Bulls, because as of right now, it's like Zach LaVine is one of their best players. So of course, you have to run it through him. You have to take your shots, right? Speaking of Kevin Love of the Cleveland Cavaliers is overrated. I don't know, man. Yeah, in a sense, because when he gets injured all the time. By the way, guys, I did predict that Kevin Love was going to get injured this season, and lo and behold, he has been injured for the majority of the season. But when he was playing, we were starting to see like glimpses of that great Timberwolves Kevin Love yet again, where he was grabbing rebounds, putting up good scoring numbers. But once again, it was not leading to W's. So Kevin Love is good in a system where he is like that second or third option on a team. I would probably say at this point, for Kevin Love to win a championship, he needs to be the third best option on a championship team. That's what I'll probably say at this point in his NBA career. Next up, we have DeAndre Jordan of the Dallas Mavericks. Guys, let's just say real quick, this man is shooting a career high 71% from three. Even he looks surprised by that one in that picture. But yeah, at about $23 million a season, I don't know. He's going to grab you 13 rebounds a game, 14 rebounds a game. He might block a shot or two here or there. He's going to catch lobs. So it's just how valuable is that in this era of the NBA? I mean, the rebounding is always nice, but a lot of the most successful teams, rebounding just comes down to a team effort, not one guy doing it all. So yeah, for $23 million for the type of center he is, I don't know if those type of centers are as valuable anymore. So I guess you can say he's overrated in the sense of getting paid $23 million. But I mean, you look at his stats. What he's doing right now is what he's done his entire NBA career. So it just comes down to personal value on your NBA team. Next, we have Isiah Thomas of the Denver Nuggets. Has he even played yet? I mean, how can you overrate a guy that hasn't played yet? I mean, we know what Isiah Thomas is capable of doing, and that is putting up 30 points per game. He did for the Boston Celtics. Do I expect him to be part of the Denver Nuggets rotation, like long-term, or come back to this team? Probably not. And unfortunately, he's probably going to be like, end up like Melo and just like not be on an NBA roster, despite having some sort of talent out there compared to some other guys in the NBA. But Monte Morris has been great for the Denver Nuggets. I really don't see a reason of him even playing at all this season, unless they really want to try things out. But it's like, as of right now, the Denver Nuggets are first place in the Western Conference. So, don't fix it if it ain't broke. I don't think he needs to play for this team at all. I feel like I'd love him to go to like Phoenix Suns or the Orlando Magic and just go crazy. Detroit Pistons, Reggie Jackson. Thank you, article person. Reggie Jackson is a bitch ass. $17 million a season, so inefficient. Wants to be that star point guard, which is why he left the OKC Thunder. But realistically, if your team is going to win, Reggie Jackson is not going to be your starting point guard. Do I like him as a backup point guard? Yes. I feel like that could be great value for a team, a championship contending team, using Reggie Jackson as a guy that comes off the bench for about 25 minutes and just like scores. That would be fine. But he's not a leader, man. He's plain and simple not a leader. He's overrated, overpaid, and he needs to be gone. We have Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. Draymond is slumping right now. 3-point shot. I mean, that backpack jump shot he got out there, man. That backpack looking heavy, dude. Looks like it's full of some rocks out there sometimes. But I don't know, man, because the Golden State Warriors are not doing as well this season as we kind of expected. And a lot of that comes down to Draymond Green's not playing his best basketball. We do know when Draymond is playing at the top of his game, it leads to the Golden State Warriors winning. So, yeah, I definitely say Draymond's a system player. He's perfect for that Golden State Warriors team. Now, would I pay for him to be like, would I pay like a max contract for him to be like join a different team? Probably not. The reason he works out on that Warriors team is because there are the superstar splash bros out there. You got Kevin Durant, of course, and Draymond can kind of just go out there and do his own thing. And when he's focusing on doing the little things, that's big time for that Warriors team. I wouldn't really say he's overrated. I just think he's a system player. Chris Paul of the Houston Rockets. Damn, dude. I never thought I'd say the day when we would say Chris Paul is an overrated point guard. Chris Paul is an overpaid point guard. He's not overrated. When Chris Paul is healthy, he's a good player, man. Like, he still gets the assists. He still scores the basketball, shoots through with high efficiency. It's just, he's older. Them freaking hamstrings is made of actual hamstring. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. It's just, it's not good for Chris Paul injury-wise. He's definitely injury-prone. And he's not worth that money anymore. But he got paid that $160 million extension because his name's Chris Paul. Plain and simple, man. We got Myles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. What do I think of Myles Turner? You know what? I don't think he's overrated because I don't think he's properly rated yet. I think Myles Turner, a lot of people out there are like waiting for him to take that next step, but he's definitely been playing some good basketball this season. Unfortunately, I do think it's going to have to come down to the Pacers choosing between Myles or Sabonis to be like their starting center going forward. And I guess I don't know who you pick at that point, man, because Myles Turner, great defensively, great shot blocker, rebounding. He could be a better rebounder. He needs to be a better rebounder. Can space the floor out, which is great. So, I don't know, man. I wouldn't say he's overrated. I wouldn't say he's underrated. I just think he is who he is right now with the potential of being greater. Avery Bradley, the Los Angeles Clippers. This is one I disagree with, man. Because I don't think he's overrated. Because I think, why does it show him Patrick Beverly, by the way, man? Why does it show him Patrick Beverly? I don't think he's overrated because I feel like a lot of people kind of have found that Avery Bradley has kind of fallen off as a player. He has not been good since the Boston Celtics days. You know, he was a perfect fit on that team. He went to the Detroit Pistons. He was okay there for a bit, but ended up being very inefficient on the Clippers now. I don't even know, is he part of the rotation? I really don't hear much about Avery Bradley anymore, so I don't think he's overrated. I just don't think he's talked about anymore. Lonzo Ball, the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, so this person clearly is a Lonzo Ball hater. I am not a Lonzo Ball hater. I don't think he's overrated because we don't really expect Lonzo to be a great offensive player, and he's not. He's gotten better with the three-point shot, but I mean, he's still one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. The playmaking's still there. The rebounding's still there. If you are one of those people that expects Lonzo Ball to be a superstar, then yes, he is overrated. But if you expect him to be a solid point guard in the NBA, I'd say he is that. He is that, man. It's in his second NBA season, and I feel like he's only going to get better with time. Chandler Parsons of the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, this dude got, $25 million this season? I think he was just cleared to play. Now, last year when he was playing, he was pretty solid. Not $25 million solid. He was the same, in that same era with Nicolas Batum, that same season where the cap went up and, the team just overpaid for him. But I mean, Chandler Parsons, he's not an overrated player because if he was getting paid the appropriate amount of money, he could still be a solid rotation player. I actually would like to see him go to a championship contending team. But for $25 million, yeah, that makes him overrated, just by contrast. Miami Heat has signed Whiteside on a 4-year, $98 million contract. Well, let's give him some props for bouncing back this season. I think a lot of people thought he was not going to be back on the team after his just pathetic playoff performance last year. So let's give him some props to that. Are the Miami Heat winning basketball games? Not really. It's the same thing as DeAndre Jordan, where we know what type of center he is. Gonna grab some rebounds, gonna play on the inside, block some shots, and that's about it, man. So it's just, for $98 million, you feel like you could use that money elsewhere for more value in this era of the NBA, more quickness and small ball type of things out there. But it's whatever, man. It's not White, so I think he's okay. Milwaukee Bucks, George Hill. Well, George Hill's a backup point guard in his NBA career. At this point in his NBA career, I felt like that was a nice little trade for the Milwaukee Bucks because he does, he does have championship experience, of course. Same song and dance, $18 million for what he brings. Yeah, not quite that. I'm pretty sure he has a player option next year. Maybe it's a team option. I don't know, but I don't expect him to be back if it's a team option, or if he does, I expect them to kind of like refinance his contract. So yeah, $18 million. Not good. If it was like $4 or $5 million a season for him to be a backup point guard, that would be a lot better. Andrew Wiggins, aka the next LeBron James. That's what he was listed as. Him and Jabari Parker, both those guys. I believe they're in the same draft class, right? Number 1, number 2. And that draft class has just actually been kind of busty out there. And, Wiggins, he can score the basketball. He can shoot the three. That's about it. He's kind of lazy at times. Doesn't do much defensively. Got paid on max contract. Just kind of like, I don't know if it was like based off potential, but at the age of 23, about 4 or 5 years into his NBA career, we kind of know who he is now. I don't really see him getting any better. We got the Pelicans with Julius Randle. I like Julius Randle because right now he's getting paid about $10 million a season. Definitely up there for most improved player. I don't know if I like him as a starter. I kind of like him more as like a 6-man big guy coming off a team's bench and just kind of like running the offense through him. He's a pretty good passer out there, and he's very athletic for the center position. The thing is, though, is that they've been running him in the starting lineup alongside Anthony Davis, and it's kind of been leading to L's out there. The team's much more efficient where it's Anthony Davis and Mirotic in the front court. So yeah, I don't think. See, Julius Randle, that's the same issue that we're going to have with Marvin Bagley going forward. I've kind of compared Marvin Bagley to Julius Randle, where it's like you don't really know if he's a power forward or a center, and therefore it's hard to really know like how to use him. So yeah, I don't know. He's okay. I want to say he's overrated. New York Knicks, Enes Kanter. I think he's a good inside player. Has a decent mid-range game. Can grab some rebounds. Am I going to pay him $25 million a season? Probably not. Do I like him as a starter? Yeah, I think he can. I think he's definitely a starter in the NBA. Just you gotta get good value for him. I mean, I said his contract's a little expensive right now, but he's not a bad player. We got Andre Roberson of the OKC Thunder. See, how do you overrate Andre Roberson? I know a lot of OKC Thunder fans are excited to have this man back because of what he can do defensively. We all know he's not going to help the team offensively. He's not going to come back and be some amazing three-point shooter. But with that being said, as of right now, Terrence Ferguson's been shooting like trash. Alex Abrinas, who's making some pretty solid minutes, is at like 32% from 3 this season. So it's not like their other options are doing great offensively. So with Roberson, you have, you still don't have that great offensive threat, but what he brings defensively compared to those other guys is just immeasurable. So, yeah, I wouldn't say he's overrated. He's going to do exactly what we expect him to do out there. Timothy Mozgov, yeah, making $16 million per year with averages of 7 points and 5 rebounds. Does any more need to be said about bitch-ass Mozgov, dude? Let's move on from that. Ben Simmons? Really? How are you going to overrate Ben Simmons? The dude, he's not making no freaking max contract money yet. I mean, yeah, I guess if you think a 6'9" point guard with handles and great court vision is overrated, sure. Yeah, he's not shooting threes yet, but someday he will. He actually just made his longest shot in NBA history as a 22-footer at the buzzer, so that was kind of interesting. But he's not overrated. Oh my God, this article, this person's kind of tripping a little bit, man. I don't know if they were like drinking as they were like writing this, and just like as he got deeper in the article, just that alcohol was starting to hit. I don't know what. Next up, we have Phoenix Suns, Josh Jackson. Was he like? Yeah, he was the 4th pick in the draft. I think it's a little too early to say what Josh Jackson is. Do I ever think he's going to live up to that 4th overall pick hype? No, I don't. But, you know, if he can work on his game offensively, if he can kind of like alleviate that pressure of being that 4th overall pick and just work on like doing a few really good things out there and working on defense, I still think he has a great place here in the NBA. It's just, you know, you cannot really expect him to be that 4th overall pick hype anymore. CJ McCollum of the Portland Trail Blazers. Well, I don't necessarily like him alongside Damian Lillard. I feel like their games are too similar. I would love to see him on a team with like a guy like Giannis or LeBron James or even a Ben Simmons. I would love to see him on Philadelphia, guys. That would actually be such a great fit for him. He's not overrated. No, he's a good shooting guard. Playing the simple, man. This dude's definitely tossed around that overrated. Cause you gotta see, man, like compared to like other players on that team, like Evan Turner's getting paid what? How much money? And you want to say CJ is more overrated than Evan Turner? Okay. Sacramento Kings, Iman Shumpert. I'm not going to get Iman Shumpert. He came on this team, man. He could have just fallen off and could have been like a 13th man in the rotation and just got paid his money. But no, he's actually going out there and he's doing some pretty solid things. So he's okay. LaMarcus Aldridge of the San Antonio Spurs. Little overpaid. What he brings to this team, his numbers are definitely down. Not looking like a great fit with DeMar DeRozan. You could almost argue that he should go back to Portland because that team finally has like a nice little squad where like LaMarcus could play the 4 spot, maybe be a spot-out 3-point shooter, just work on that game at least. You know, let Nurkic handle the rebounding and the defense down low. We got Damian and CJ out there, so I don't know if LaMarcus Aldridge is overrated as a player. He just is a little overrated in the San Antonio Spurs system. Toronto Raptors, Fred VanVleet got a 2-year, $18 million deal. I mean, he was a big part of their team last season. I think he's a fantastic backup point guard. I think for $9 million, yeah, so he had a solid case for the 6th Man of the Year award. So getting your 6th man for $9 million a season with what he can do is fine. Yeah, he's not playing as good as last season, but we are only in December, so we'll see how Drake Jr. does out here, man, going forward. We got Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. You know, Donovan Mitchell has struggled this season. It's no doubt. He's hit a bit of a sophomore slump. I kind of assumed he was going to before the season started. I was kind of talking about it a little bit. We know what he can be out there, though, so it's hard to overrate a guy where you know what he can be because the Utah Jazz were good last season. I just don't think the Jazz management has done a good job putting the right players around him. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, that's nice. Now, to add that to that team, you want a point guard that can space the floor. That's not Ricky Rubio. You want a power forward that can space the floor to open up the lane for Donovan Mitchell. That's not Derek Favors. Joe Ingles is nice. So no, it's not that he's overrated. It's just you don't have the right players around him at this point of time. And then finally, we have John Wall of the Washington Wizards, $170 million for the next 4 years. That's one reason you can overrate him. If that contract was a bit more friendly, then yeah, you could make the argument for him not being an overrated player. I would probably actually say this is more Otto Porter because Otto Porter's going to pay about $100 million. But John Wall, you know, there's been some drama with him this season, but that doesn't like look beyond the point that he's still one of the best point guards in the NBA. He's still one of the quickest players. Get to the basket. He's a great playmaker. Shots getting a little better. Just a little overpaid, which I guess you can make him say overrated from that. But yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I love doing these. I don't know why, man. It's so much fun just to sit back and talk some basketball. So yeah, article is in the link in the description of this video. Leave me your thoughts on this. Be sure to check out that second channel, Extra Crispy. And peace out, my friends.